Okay. So before we get started, I don't like to have things come to this level where I always have to say, remind, spend time talking about, etc. But this is a licensed school. Okay? You don't get to sleep in this classroom, just like you can't go to high school or elementary school and decide you're not going to follow along with class and go to sleep. That's not an option. Your option is you could decide you don't want to be here. And I get it very clearly. This place is not for people. This is not for everybody. This is only for people who want to get skills to have stable and meaningful employment. That's all this place is for. And if you have a different program, hey, this place isn't for you. But you don't get to run your own program, period. And if I ask you to do something politely, don't think I'm not going to escalate it to whatever level it needs to be escalated to. Because if I want something done, it's going to happen. But I don't like it, and I don't think it's should be the case that I always have to go to the level of, listen, we're going to do this the easy way or the hard way, but it's going to happen. You don't want to be in that position. I mean, if that's your default mode, as who would say? David Foster Wallace. As David Foster Wallace would say, if that is your default mode, you're only going to move if somebody forces you to do something. Otherwise, you want to stay who you are. You're not going to be happy here. Because it's not right and it's not fair for other students who are trying to do something. Why should you have to do something if somebody else gets to sleep? Right? And why should anybody have to do anything if some person can just do what they want to do? Then what's the result going to be? It's going to be not good. We're not going to be able to get people employed. And, we are here, all of us are here because there are people who send in money to make sure that we can be here. Tony Shea provides this facility. You think if he walked in here, who thinks if he walked in here and he saw somebody sleeping at a desk, he would say, that's cool, we let that happen at Zappos. Anybody think if you walked into Zappos, they'd let somebody sleep at their desk? We have people in California that are all paying to go to school. Because they're paying to go to school, you don't have to pay. So it's respectful to them to say, you're paying for me, but you know what? I don't have to work. I can do what I want. I can show up when I want. I can participate in what I want. And I can do whatever I want because I control myself. Yeah, you do. Absolutely do control yourself. But this is a licensed school. We have a certain program here, and I get it. I get very clearly. If this is for you, get the fuck out.
Oh, Eddie's on a mission again.
Oh, hi there.
How are you?
We're having fun today. Okay, so I forgot that the red light was. So, okay, where were we? Gmail. Okay, so now everybody should have their professional Gmail account. Who does not have their professional Gmail account? Okay, except for Leanne. Or maybe Mike. Did we do Mike yesterday? Did we check Mike's? Okay, you two maybe not, but We checked, right, Phyllis, we checked everyone else. Okay, so we got somebody else from this morning. Joe, we set your account up yesterday at the spqr.us.
Thank you.
Donna Brody. So Lucy, can you get on to 1-in-1, please? And then Phyllis will give you the names of people. So what I want to do is I want to make sure everybody gets it set up. Now, we did have a couple problems yesterday. We had some transposition errors in your emails. That's why it wasn't working for you. And we had some password transposition errors. But I think we have those all worked out. And didn't we do Tamika? Okay, so now the thing is, the people here who do not have it, other than Ann and Michael, which Lucy will get yours set up now as soon as Phyllis gives her the information. Everybody else, make sure that you have it set up. And I did get a large number of emails yesterday from people that apparently have it done to the level we need it done. So you have a professional email account. Now, I did not check your voicemail numbers, but the phone number on your signature should be your Google Voice number. Who here does not have a Google Voice number? So Leanna, does Thomas not have one? Okay. Okay. So Leanna and Thomas don't have Google Voice number. All right. So now, while we're doing that, while we're getting that figured out, or while people are doing that, let's quickly talk about contacts. And then we're going to talk about creating events. Signature / account.
No, not that.
2 is contacts.
1.
3 is events.
21.
So once your signature is set up, you're able to use Gmail in a professional way. When somebody receives an email from you that's on your Gmail account, and it doesn't say @Gmail, and it does have a signature, and there's a confidentiality notice at the bottom, their perception of you is going to be what?
It's a whole password, right?
Professional.
Professional, right? Professional. That you're not that. Now, let's say a guy has a business. Let's say the business is called Ed's Carpet Cleaning
First name dot
at gmail.com.
Larson.
How does that seem?
Larson.
That seem professional?
.com.
Why does it seem professional?
Okay, that's his not.
Okay, let's say it says Ed's Super Duper Dry Cleaning at gmail.com. Does that sound better? Okay. Ed's Best Dry Cleaners at gmail.com. Okay. What is wrong with that name? Yes. Okay. Good. So, Joe, what is wrong with the name Ed's Super Duper Dry Cleaners at gmail.com?
Well, the gmail.com makes it look like it's a private person.
Yeah, exactly. So as soon as you see somebody's email, or a real person in business gets an email from somebody that has business name at Gmail, in their mind they say, this isn't a real company. This is a really, really small hobby business, a little guy doing something, trying to pretend like he has a business. That's what real people in business, they say, big boy guys don't have an email account that ends in Gmail or Hotmail or Rocket Mail or Yahoo or any of those things. And in the name of your business. So, number one here, setting up the account enables you to use your Gmail account, but have it as a business name, ends in a business name. So, what does yours end in, Thomas? Ciao Tutti. Ciao Tutti Publishing. And what is yours end in, Tim? Oh, okay. What is yours end in? Monica. Larson Gladius. So, so if somebody receives an email from you, they're going to presume that you work for a real business, right? They're not going to think that you're somebody who's a student at Larson Training Centers. They're going to think, oh, this is Jesse at Chow Trudy Publishing. Chow Trudy Publishing, I see that magazine. He works there. Oh, cool. So the question is, in California, how do we set up so that it doesn't end in Gmail? Not how do we set it up in Gmail. How do we get the thing that says petsapetsa.com or edgedrycleaners.com or edsuperduper.drycleaners.com? How do we do that? How do we get that part of the email set up?
You go to settings.
Well, before I can do that in settings, what do I have to make sure I have?
You have to buy that domain.
Exactly. So as Joe said, you have to buy the domain. You have to buy the domain. And how many thousands of dollars does that cost?
Nothing.
Okay? 0 thousands. So I think you can get it. We get them from 1&1, and I think it's like $9 or $5 or $2 a year, something like that. Even if it's $9 a year, $9 to start, $9 a year, you should endeavor to yourself, okay, I'm not going to go to Starbucks for 2 days because I want to own this domain name for a year. It's really, really cheap.
Starbucks would be more expensive, probably in the millions.
Okay, Starbucks is more expensive. So what is the cheapest domain name that you know of, Joe? Not name, but service provider.
I don't know. I just went through Gmail and paid $12.
Okay, so Gmail, Google would be a good place to do it because once again, it's all in one. 1&1. What's another company? So 1&1.com. What's another one?
I think it's domains.com.
Okay. What's the most popular one? Anybody here a GoDaddy?
Oh, I've heard of them.
GoDaddy. So somebody go to GoDaddy and tell me how much it costs to reserve. Huh? 99 cents for how long? First year?
So it might be $1. $1.
$1. Okay. So you can get a domain for $1.
No, .com's $9.99.
Okay, what's 99 cents? .us?
It's got .us for $4.99.
What's the 99-cent one?
There is none.
What's
There's $9.99.
Okay, $9.99. So for less than $10, you can have a domain name, and that's something that everybody should do. And if Nolan Bushnell was here right now, he would say, if you want to be successful, you have to be in business for yourself, and the first thing you need to do is you have to have a domain name. You will feel real if you have your own domain. You'll just feel much better. You'll be able to do things, and it's just better all the way around. So for $10, you can get, yes, Joe?
Did you say $1 a month or $1 a year?
Well, somebody here said $1 a month.
Oh yeah, they're right. They're right. There is one.
Okay. So, but, okay, so you can pay $1 a month for a year?
Yeah.
$1 a year?
No, it's $1 a month.
$1 a month.
Yeah.
And, says,
Okay, it doesn't matter. It's cheap.
Right.
Okay?
Exactly.
Even if it was $20, $20 is still cheap.
Right.
And it's way less than $20. We can all agree on that, right? Okay, so here's the thing you want to do. You don't want to have your email go through GoDaddy or 1&1 or domains.com or any of those things. You don't want to do that. You want to do it through your Gmail account. But you have to go to 1&1 or GoDaddy or any one of these other things. You have to go to any one of these other things and you have to get your name.
Hey Ed,
Yeah.
Just to let you know, if you do it through Google, it's integrated, so you can do it right there when you buy it.
Okay? So Google, I would say do it through Google. Even though it might be a little bit more expensive, it's not really more expensive, it's going to be cheaper. Because what I was just going to get to, and thank you, Joe, because you set it up perfectly, is if you go and get one of these accounts, you have to set up the emails like we were doing here for everybody. You set up the email in one, and you have to forward it to your Gmail account. And then you have to go in your Gmail account and you have to set it up so that you can send through your one account. That's what we had to do yesterday and the day before, right? Where it's fill in the box, smtp.oneandone.com, port 25. So if it's Google, all of that is much simpler. Okay? So let's just say this. The first thing that you should do is just go to Google and get it, reserve a name. And so where do you go there, Joe? And everybody write this down. So if you want to reserve a domain name, purchase a domain, where do you go on the Google account?
It's google.com /domains.
Domain or domain S?
With the S.
Okay.
The slash goes the other way, so is that /?
/.
All right.
Forward slash.
Okay. All right, so let's just go there for a second. So Google. Okay, is everybody there? Not yet?
Yeah, go down a month.
Yeah.
So did everybody get there? Okay, so let's just practice. Just put in some name that you would like. Okay? So enter a name that you would like to enter.
I mean, you would like to enter.
Okay, so hetsapetza.com is what I did. That's a legal term.
Put Arby.
I'm gonna be a $1.
What?
I don't know. I think it's only practice. We're not.
This is how easy it is.
I don't know.
My old best friend, he's mad at me.
Okay, so do we need,
Can we sell it?
He did it from the city.
That's happened to Playboy before. That's happened to yeah.
So it can be either .com or .org.
no, so you want it to end, so an important thing is you want this to end in if you can. You should not try to get one that ends in something else. The second best choice would be .us. That's becoming popular now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Okay, so now the other thing I did over here was to see about transferring a domain into Google. So transferring it out somewhere else, on its way.
Okay. Wait a minute. Okay. Yeah.
Great girl.
You just do it.
That's
So be professional in business. Did everybody get there? Anybody have any questions in California?
I think we, any questions, anyone? I think everyone's there. We're just helping a few people get there, but we're okay, Ed.
Okay, does Lucy have the stuff for the emails? Michael and Leanna? Okay. Who else? Anyone else here? So Julia, Robert, and Ronnie don't think their emails work. Okay, we checked them. If you didn't hear Phyllis. Okay, so we're going to move on to part number 2. Part number 1, signature accounts. The key thing is if you're going to have an email, it needs to be professional unless it's your personal email. Yeah, this would be professional. So what you have here, Larson-Gladius, is a professional one. So if you're applying for a job, instead of it being from your Yahoo account or whatever, it's from your Larson-Gladius account. Okay? Should be from your Larson-Gladius professional email. So they're going to think, oh, okay, well, the school you go to is a real school because they've given you an email address like all real schools do. If you go to a real university, they give you a email account. Go to UNLV, you get an email that has your name at unlv.edu. So, so that's the main thing. And then we talked about how do you go get a domain. The best thing to do is do it through Google. Second, contacts. This is a big take-home. Write it down. Don't leave home without it. You need to update your contact list all the time. Nowadays, And with the amount of storage you have, there is no reason to delete anybody's email address once you get it. What you want to do is put it into a group. If you don't want to ever contact them, put them into a group called virus, foe, enemy, dead to me, something. Put them in something over there, but if you ever need it, you have their email address. But from this point forward, you need to think in terms of in network. So network, you should take this word and break it down into net equals your contact list. The names that are on your contact list are like the fish or whatever it is you're trying to catch in your net. You want to gather up all email addresses that you can, and then work equals work. The work part is there's stuff that you have to do to maintain it. You don't want to have a contact list that has 10,000 names in it that are not categorized or grouped, or you don't have notes. It's just like in fishing. The better your net, the more you're going to catch. Not good to have a net that has a big hole in it, because a lot of the fish are going to get out, or whatever it is you're trying to catch. If you're out there, Bubba Gump, and you have a shrimp boat, and you're trying to catch shrimp, and you have a big hole in your net, what's going to happen with a lot of the shrimp? Yeah, they're going to fall out of the net. It's the same thing with your contact list. Think of it as your network. It's the key to your network. And you need to keep, from this point forward, every name you collect. And that's another reason to keep your Gmail account. Can you export stuff? Yeah. You can export the names in your contact list, and you can import them into another email if you want. I don't think you need to do that, because I think that Gmail is the way to go. But you can. You can do that. And I think right now, with Gmail, you get 15 gigabytes of storage. Okay? That number is going to keep going up. When I got my first Gmail account, 10 years ago, maybe 11, they gave you 2 gigabytes. And that was like, holy cow, what? You can't even use 2 gigabytes. That's going to last forever. And now it's 15. And on my paid account, it's 30. And those numbers will just keep going up. So, and I think for the school, for like $25 a year, they give you 150 gigabytes or something. So, I mean, it's unlimited. Maybe it's half a terabyte. Yes?
Where exactly do we go to start our contact list, or where do we go to find our
Okay, so go to Gmail. Everybody go to your Gmail. The question is, how do I find my contact?
Okay, I think I'm ready now.
Okay, where was it?
It's under my Gmail. If you look where it says Google, and then right below it, it'll say Gmail, and there's an arrow, and you click on that arrow, a drop-down window will come, and it'll say Contact.
Correct. Okay? So that's where your contact list is. So for our purposes, contacts is a sub-app of Gmail. Gmail is the app. The sub-app is contacts. And in your contact list, you have stuff there. Anybody watch the video about your contact list?
Yes.
Watch that one.
Okay.
We didn't get to finish them.
Okay.
Like about 4 minutes.
So on that one, it tells you every email you get, every time somebody sends you an email, where is that email address stored on your contact list?
Where you want to put it. Right here in the research, it says
So today, I don't know when this happened, last month, Google has updated the contact list, how contacts work. So you learn how to do that. I was I haven't learned it yet. I clicked the thing to go to the contact.
Yeah, go to Gmail.
And then scroll down to the bottom where it says other contacts.
Okay. Right. Gmail contact. And then there's contact. But you know you got to start
So
contacting.
we'll let you find that on your own. But every email you receive, Google saves the email address. Doesn't say the person's name, doesn't say where they work, doesn't tell you their birth date, doesn't do anything other than save the email address. If you click on that, then you can open up the contact. So everybody should be in their contacts. Go into other contacts, look in old view. One of the things you see is if I want to add something, in the lower right corner, there's plus a person. I can organize by first name or last name. Frequently contacted, my groups, my circles. Work. This is my it goes to other. That includes go to other. And then if I click on one, it opens up card, and I can fill in all the information. So I have a name, maybe you have a phone number, you have an email address, and nothing else. You know who it is. So you want to change the name, you just click on the name.
Everybody find their contacts okay?
Want to change their email address, you click on that. You want to add their phone number, you click there. Home address, all of that. You want to add a note, I got this person is, Italian American Club, whatever it is. Add them to circle. This is the work part of network. So everybody that's on your contact list, ultimately, everybody that's on your contact list, you want to have them arranged in groups, sorted, information on them, because knowledge is power. And this is the thing you just have to play with. Okay, so Rachel, where did I go to get to here? Huh? Right. Yeah. So start by going to your Gmail.
So I'm at work with all my different contacts. So, where you went to that out of the meetings.
Okay, I just click on one of the contacts.
About on any other contract?
Yeah. And that opens up the card for that contact.
And then I go to the edit one. Contact. On my screen, what pops up is the information card, is the contact information now.
Bye.
And then on the right-hand corner, I have an arrow that points up and an arrow that points down, and right next to that, I have
Got it. Oh.
Go to the bottom.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, take it off.
yeah, that's
Click
what's
on
going
my
on right
name.
now.
Okay, so I click on my name. This is the new one. What you didn't say is I switched back to the old one. That's what I know. But here's the new
Okay.
version. So yeah, edit the contact.
See, like, I told partners, you choose partners.
No,
So that automatically they will choose that. But the .net would be.
In that screen right there, next to the star, what are the new dots are right now?
Oh, yeah.
Right there.
and always click on these.
And then click on it, take the number out.
Gives you the choice of use Google profile. So I just clicked on it. It's okay, use your Google profile. Remove from contacts, delete. Okay, I don't care about either of them. Important contact. I can click on that. I don't put it in a special group. Card. On the left, of course, it has my picture. And I can add it to whatever circles I want. And I can add it to group. This is the work part of networking. It's almost good enough. It's almost good enough just to have somebody's email address. That's better than nothing. But you should set aside time every week to update your contact list. And then how would you do that? How would we set time every week to do update our contact list? Okay, right. We schedule it in the calendar. So that's the last thing we're going to talk about today is events. So I'll switch over here to my calendar.
Okay, good.
So I go to the 9-square grid in the right-hand corner. And so what we're going to do first, Dennis, is we're going to schedule an event. Okay, so I go to my calendar. And let's say, when would be a good day, would you say, Desmond, to update my contact list? To maintain it, maintenance on my contact list. Yeah, if I had to pick one day a week.
Friday.
Okay, Desmond. Friday. Okay. So I go to my calendar, I go to Friday, and I say, okay, what time? 6 a.m. or p.m.? Okay, 6 a.m. I go over to 6 a.m., I click there, I create an event. I'm just going to go to edit event, and I put in update contact. Okay?
How long is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. You went to settings on that?
Click on the time on your calendar. Go to the day, so it's Friday. You go to 6 a.m., so look up here what I'm doing. Go to 6 a.m., you click. The box pops up and says edit event. I click on edit event. Then I just fill it out. Update contacts.
What do you do right there? Update contact.
Update contacts. And then I put the time. Let's say it's going to take me 25 minutes. So I fill that in. And then I push the next line down below that. I click on repeat. Now I want to repeat every week on Friday. And maybe let's say I want to stop 6 months from now. So I'll say after 26 months. And then I click done. And then I save it. And then on my calendar, every Friday at 6 a.m. it says update your contacts. Well, it's a to-do list.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, after we change the time and date, and
You go to the line right below that. And you click repeat.
Time, or repeat.
After you've done date and time, you go to the next line and you go to repeat. Okay? And then it's done, go back and look at your calendar and voila, it will be there. It's color coded and based on your calendar. So that's a good point. So that shows it's your calendar. It's on your calendar. Now, the other thing is creating events out of Gmail. We talked about this, I think, on Tuesday. How do we create an event out of Gmail? How do we create an event from Gmail?
More.
What's the first thing we do? That's the second thing. What's the second thing?
Oh, you gotta click on the email.
Correct. Okay, so to create an event in email, the first thing we need to do is to open an email. So tomorrow we have a Ciao Tutti interview with Tony Gemignani from Pizza Rock. So let's say he sent an email that said, great, let's do the interview next Friday at noon. He sent me that. So instead of replying and saying, sure, we want to get in the habit of going up to the More button while the email's open. I go up to the More button, and what happens when I click on More? Ed, what happens when I click on More?
Drops down.
Right, so click on More, and then create what? Not label. No. Try again. Only two other choices.
Then mine doesn't save it.
Click on open the email. First, you have to open the email.
Does it matter which email we open it?
Well, let's say you received the email, and the guy said, let's do the interview at 12 noon tomorrow. Okay, so you're looking at an email that says, let's do 12 noon. Okay? Okay, you click on More, so the email is opened up. Then you click on More.
Okay.
Then what does it say? Okay, you have to have the email open.
I have the email.
You sure? Create event. Not this. If you're here, you can't click on this More button here.
No, on my inbox, I just click.
Okay, what email did you open? Is it from a person? You open it from there, then the More button comes to the other side, right? Moves over to the right. Now over here. See that?
Yes. Hold on. You logged me in.
reading.
All right.
Okay, so Tim, you have an email open up, you click on the more button.
Says report chat, all mail, spam, trash categories.
Okay, yeah.
Create events.
Correct, there you go. You create an event,
All right, one.
okay?
Gotcha.
This works better if you read English, right?
I don't know, you got me trying to learn
See.
Italian, I can't speak to you.
Okay.
There's more button on the left side.
The more button on the left side is there when you don't have the email open.
No, it's there. Still there. Click. Go back to your
Oh,
Yeah, on the left side, down. More at the bottom of the, like, underneath the inbox and everything.
Underneath frame pop.
Left.
Underneath frame.
Yeah, right there on your left side. Compose.
Compose.
Go down. All the way down.
Oh, okay, so that is something different, so.
That's what.
Okay. So that more button has to do with your email boxes. Okay, that's talking about more email boxes. So you've got chat, you've got spam, you have trash, you have categories. That's not a more button. This is a more button. That's not a button. That's like a label. So here, you click on the more button on the top, create an event, and that takes you where? To
Where would you do
So Thomas, where does that take you?
the reminder,
I'm just going to.
to where you can create an event?
Yeah. And what is that associated with?
Your Gmail.
No. Calendar. This is part of the calendar.
Oh, it'll go in?
Look at your tab bar. What's tab is highlighted? Calendar. Okay, now, let's close that. So now you should be back on your mail, Gmail, right? What tab is open? Okay, your Gmail, right? Is that email still open?
Yeah.
Okay. Is the email still open? Okay. Go up and click on more. Click create event and watch what happens on your tab bar. If I click create event, it opens a new tab in calendar. So it immediately, quickly opens, goes to calendar, opens a tab, goes into calendar. So now we have we're on the calendar now. We're not in Gmail. We just exited Gmail, we're on the calendar. Okay? And then you fill it in. And what happens when you fill this in? Start at the top, work your way to the bottom. It's break time, we're just about done, et cetera, racing because we're almost done. Footnote 1. So you fill this out, you hit save, and instead of that person getting a reply to your email, they're going to get an email that's an invitation to this event. And when they hit yes, that's the question, who you would hit. When they hit yes, you get an answer back. They're going to be okay? Very cool. So to summarize and recap this last week, Gmail is a very powerful free tool that you should use from this point forward. You have to use it, otherwise you're going to lose it. So the important things are signature and accounts, contacts, from this point going forward to the ending of the world, what? We and it shall be remembered. We few, we happy few. You don't remember? Didn't you do St. Crispin's speech? Oh, that was Velvet. Okay. So, so from this point forward, you want to keep every contact that you get, and you need to network. You need to have a strong net, keep every contact you run across and then maintain your contact list. And I can promise you 10 years from now, if you do that today, 10 years from now, you will be very successful in whatever it is you're doing. Because you will have all of this information of all of these people that you've ever sent or received emails to for the last 10 years. You'll have them in groups, you'll have them in circles, you'll have notes on these people, you'll have your own small version of the NSA. Okay, knowledge is power. And then lastly, creating events. Don't just reply to emails. Your default mode should be, if I have an email that talks about doing something in the future, I click the More button, and then I click what? Create event, right. Okay. So I click on the More button, then I click Create Event. And when I do that, it gets it on my calendar, and then when everybody here has their smartphone in the future, all of your events will be on your calendar. And like I said earlier in the week, Google and Apple are, their apps are now going to predictive stuff. So they'll tell you that something's on your calendar and you need to leave to go there. They'll check what traffic is like and tell you when you need to leave to go to the meeting. So if you think you don't have control now, wait till the future, okay, when you're just a servant to your smartphone. Okay, any questions in California? We've kind of gone over our time.
Okay, any questions? Everybody? No questions?
Okay,
Thank you very much.
well, we'll see everybody on Monday and Joe on Tuesday, right?
Right. Okay.
Okay, Joe, thanks. See you guys.
All right. Hey,